Welcome to Uxbridge College Virtual Open Day session for Computing and Games Development. If you haven't registered for the Open Day, then you can do it now by visiting Open Day registration link, which will be available in our chat box, so that we can send you a recording of the session to watch it again in your own time, and also to keep you updated with the information about our college. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box, and we will aim to answer those questions at the end of the session. I will now hand over to my colleague Daniel and Luke, who will talk about studying computing and games development at Uxbridge College. Over to you guys.
Hello, my name's Daniel Brown. I'm the Section Manager of Computing IT at the Hayes campus. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to come to the session today. I want to talk a little bit about the courses that we have on offer at the Hayes campus, and then I'll pass over to my colleagues at the Uxbridge campus to focus on the games element and what they have to offer. I want to have a look at our roadmap to success, and then I'm going to talk about a bit more about the specific courses that we have on offer. Look at extracurricular activities that we provide, as well as looking at some case studies of previous students. So hopefully you'll really get a sense of what a great opportunity your son or daughter would have here studying at Uxbridge College, and the many possibilities for success and achievement that we do offer. Now, what you see at the moment is our roadmap to success, and it illustrates all the courses that we currently have at Computing IT here at Hayes and how they link together. So the first point I really want you to take home is that whatever level of entry that you come into the college at, we have an opportunity that is likely to be suitable for you. And then from that position, there are many, many options to progress forward, and then move forward to further courses, and then ultimately looking at university, higher education, or apprenticeships. So we have many students that start at level 1 and work all the way through level 2, level 3, and then move on to university. And we have a lot of students that progress on to lots of local universities, such as Brunel, as well as other universities around the country. We also offer higher education within the department in the form of HNC and HND, as well as apprenticeships. So whatever position your son or daughter is currently in, we definitely have something to offer for you, and there are definitely many, many opportunities to move forward positively. So I just want to progress on to talking a little bit about what each course has to offer. Our level 1 course is a foundation introductory to some key concepts in information technology, including spreadsheets, websites, programming, and basic hardware and IT knowledge. It gives a student a really good foundation, a really good solid foundation to move forward from. And from there, we have students progress on to level 2. And we have a BTEC level 2 extended certificate in information and creative technology. And there are a number of key areas that cover a range of information technology concepts, which include website development, database development, software development, which the particular programming language is Python. And Python is one of the industry standard languages. It's one of the kind of most popular languages in demand at the moment, and as well as basic installation and maintaining of computer hardware. So it builds on the elements that were covered at level 1, but if your son or daughter hasn't done level 1, that's fine. If level 2 is their entry point, they would come in and undertake level 2. And then we also have City and Guilds level 2, which if your son or daughter is not particularly focused on going to university and they want to do something practically leading into maybe a software support role in a company, this would be the type of course that would be suitable. So that covers practical elements like PC building, software installation and maintenance, customer service skills. So that's very important that we have an emphasis on that, because we're not just looking at the students developing the technical skills, we're also looking at how they can develop their customer service skills and interact with customers and work effectively in the workplace. And also basic maintenance procedures and understanding the world of networking. So it's a basic introduction to networking and the type of network knowledge they would need to build upon moving into a career in that field. And then from there, we have a number of level 3 courses. So the City and Guilds level 3 course becomes more advanced. So there's lots of particular elements that will prepare students to progress into industry in an IT support role, or then move further on to an apprenticeship. So it goes into a lot more detail around networking, the management of server systems, how those can be set up and administered, really important skills that underpin the type of things that they would be doing in industry. And then if they wanted to progress onto an apprenticeship, it really give a good foundation to move forward. Then we have level 3 in BTEC, which covers the key concepts in programming, website development. And these courses are equivalent to 3 A-levels. So if your son or daughter is looking to possibly progress onto university after 2 years doing a level 3, this would be the ideal course. And then the second year of the course, it goes into some more specialization around things like security and incident management, IT service delivery, project management, big data, and Internet of Things. So you can see there, they're kind of modern concepts in computing IT. So they're very relevant units, industry relevant content. So your son or daughter will be learning about relevant things that are sort of the latest topics in the computing field. We also have access to computing course. So this is for students who are over 19, who maybe have been out of education for some time, and it gives you an opportunity to come back into education, undertake a year's course to then prepare yourself for moving on to university. It's a very challenging course, but it's very effective because we've had a number of students progress recently to Russell Group universities after doing the Access program. And the Russell Group universities are the top 25 universities in the country. So some very good outcomes there. And we've got students who work really hard, progress on, and then achieve really well moving on to university. Then from there, as I said earlier, there are various routes in terms of university, HNC or HND within our campus, as well as apprenticeships. So to reiterate the point again, from what I opened the conversation with, is whatever your son or daughter is interested in doing, whatever level they're currently at, there's a range of options that we have that will be suitable for them. And there's a range of possibilities for them to really progress forward positively and move forward to success. Now, in terms of extracurricular, there are lots of activities that we provide and opportunities we provide to students. Obviously, with the recent COVID circumstance, it's been a challenge, and some of the things that we normally run haven't taken place. But some of the things we've done in the past, Erasmus program, where we had students prepare for some international work experience. We run regular trips to places like Bletchley Park, including the National Museum of Computing. We have study skills visits to universities like Brunel. That's something that's been very popular in the last few years when we run that. We also have a range of industry guest speakers. So there's one example here of someone who came in from Capgemini. He's a senior security consultant with Capgemini UK, and he delivered a presentation to our level 3s and HND students around practical skills and exercises in networking and the kind of skills that are relevant in his job role. So lots of guest speakers, lots of industry relevance in the type of content and the courses that we deliver. We also have career assemblies, and we have a lot of focus on opportunities for progression and information around progression, whether it's apprenticeships, whether it's university, or whether it's looking for opportunities in the workplace. We also have visits to lots of industry relevant expos like the Info Security Europe. So we've every year when the opportunity has arisen, we've had groups of students go there, and they've had really good experiences at the largest and most comprehensive information security event that runs in the UK. So this is kind of illustrative of how we not only try and prepare students academically, but we're also mindful of preparing them and having them given exposure to lots of opportunities around careers and lots of industry relevant information and experiences that will benefit them moving forward. The last few slides, I want to just kind of focus on some case studies that speak to the opportunities for success that are available at the college. And if your son or daughter come to the college and work hard, they can really achieve something positive. So this is Zen. He started on a level 1 program and he progressed all the way through to level 2. He then moved on to the Access program and he's currently studying at university. And a quote from him: Uxbridge College was a place where I learned how to speak English fluently. He started with ESOL actually before he came to us. Now I'm currently in Access, and he just had a really good experience and he's developed very well, and he's at university at the moment doing very well. This is Marvin. He was on our City and Guilds Level 3 program and he's currently doing an apprenticeship. He's in the second year of an infrastructure technician apprenticeship that is still within the college. And his experience has been exceptional from the first day right through to the end. I received support when I needed it from my tutors, whether it's to do with my course or my future plans after my level 3 C&G course. I can confidently say my IT knowledge has been deeply influenced by the help and support I was given whilst being at Uxbridge College. So City and Guilds is very much an option if your son or daughter wants to progress in a more practical field in infrastructure support or a support role in a company. So it's definitely an option to consider if that's a field that they want to progress onto. Nasir studied at the college. He left a number of years ago, but he's illustrative of a student who started at level 1, worked his way through, and he actually finished an information technology and business management course last summer, and he graduated with a first-class degree. So that's a wonderful example of how someone who came into the college right at the beginning at the level 1, worked hard, made use of all the opportunities that he had with us, and now he's got a first-class degree and he's moving on to a really positive career in the IT industry. So I hope that gives you a bit of flavour of what we offer here at Uxbridge College. It really is a really good college. You know, the environment we have here is positive. It really is a place where your son or daughter can come, work hard, and really make something and achieve something. So I really hope you do consider us as a place of study beginning in September. I'll pass you over to my colleagues now who talk about what's on offer at our Uxbridge campus in specifically the games field, but I'll be available at the end of their presentation to answer any further questions that you may have. But thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Let's get the screen shared.
Can you guys see the presentation?
Yep, we can see it.
Lovely. Okay, welcome. My name's Luke. I am one of the course team leaders at Uxbridge College. I mainly focus on the games development side, while my colleague here, Chris, he focuses a lot more on the more computing and the level 1s and the level 2s. So Chris is going to fire away with a level 1 program. For the most part, we've got the similar presentation to Daniel, whereas we kind of look at the progression routes and how we can kind of progress in our courses in the different pathways, not just in the games, but also in our cybercrime and security and just general computing as well.
All right, to start off our department, we have the level 1 games program. Okay, within the level 1 games program, it's very similar to the level 1 program that we have in the Hayes campus, except it specializes more in digital graphics and games development type areas. So there's a little bit of crossover. And the main part of the level 1 program is it really focusing on people that don't get good grades at high school, so that they can build out their portfolio for stuff of learning how to do like research into topics and how to keep themselves organized and all the sort of soft skills that you need to progress into sort of higher levels of education. Moving on from there, we have the level 2 games program, where it actually delves a little bit deeper into the more technical skills that are required in games development. So we've got units for digital audio, where we make sound effects for computer games. We've got digital animation, where we actually make the animations that go into computer games. Graphics, where we do like the heads-up display and like the health bars that go onto the computer games that we make. And then multimedia product development and software development and software systems development, which is really delving deep into the programming aspect of the computer games development section. Okay. The next level 2 program that we have, this one's kind of a new program, and it's only been running for literally this year onwards. This is a program for like an entry level into cybercrime security and software development to feed in up to our level 3 courses. This one also has usually has quite technical work experience placements that kind of builds confidence to potentially progress onto our T-level programs.
So in terms of the games side of things, we have a level 3 program. This is run by AIM Awards. Now this program is over 2 years, but it's split into 2 one-year programs. I'll kind of explain a little bit about both of them. Now, in terms of the games progression, what you're going to be looking at on this course is essentially all different areas of the creative industry, and not specifically just related to games. While the main focus is games itself, we will be also looking at the animation industry and the VFX industries for film and TV, not just for games. So it's all about developing your core programming skills. Okay. Again, one question we get asked a lot is, what is the difference between the course we do in computing and a course they do in media, which is game design? Now, we obviously focus a lot more in the actual computing elements of it, so a lot of the programming, the maths and the logic, and kind of really diving deep into how games are actually made. We're also going to be looking at art fundamentals as well. So some artistic skills is welcomed, but not entirely necessary, as we always start from the ground up when teaching art. We also do the 3D animation and modeling to build up your technical skills in those areas. And that's essentially the first year of the program, is to allow you to develop all the technical skills that you would need, so that when you go into the second year is then focusing on a big group project. From November, you're given out a synoptic project task, which requires you to work in a team and use the skills that you've learned from the first year to develop a game. Okay, either a game in animation or VFX, depending on which topic your group wants to dive down. Okay, so we generally start looking at what kind of the emerging technologies or trends are in the industry, looking at more of the business management and production management side of games development. Okay, some images and sounds, and what it's like actually working in this industry. So what the job roles are, what kind of is required from you when you actually get into the industry as an employee. Now, moving on from the game side of things, we have a computing course as well as a level 3 cybercrime and security course. Now, these 2 courses are the new RQF courses, which is designed to go do a full deep dive into computing in terms of the programming elements, okay, the fundamentals of the computer systems. Now, the first years of the computing and the cybercrime courses are pretty much the same units, okay? They're just taught slightly differently depending on what kind of specialism you're actually going for. It's not until the second year of the program when you start looking at splitting off each of these program areas into the more specific units and kind of key topics that you specifically want to learn. Now, cybercrime and security is one of the biggest growing areas in the kind of computing field at the moment. And it's definitely one of those ones where definitely jump onto if it's that kind of your interest going forward in the future. But in terms of the actual skill sets you learn, again, a lot of practical kind of skill sets, as well as the mixture of theory involved as well. There are exams as well as coursework based in both of these units and these courses. And essentially, they can then lead on to the further qualifications of a H&C and a H&D, either in the games pathway or the cybersecurity pathway for the level 4 and 5 in our H&C and H&D as well. We'll come back to the T levels in a minute. In terms of the H&C and the H&D programs, for games, it's more of kind of a step up from our level 3 program and looking at more of the advanced techniques into how you actually make games and start taking ownership of your learning. Now, a H&C and a H&D program is equivalent to the first 2 years of university, which means that when you actually finish this course, you can apply for a top-up degree, which is the final year in a university to get your full degree. Generally, H&D and H&C are more, again, hands-on focused, less of the theory side of things, but more of the kind of vocational, like a level 3, in terms of the kind of practical work that's going to be expected from you. And we have pathways in both games and the cybercrime, which is currently in development. We're running it this year, and it seems to be going fairly well. Students are really enjoying it. So it's definitely something you can take a look into. Now, going back to the T-levels, Chris is going to take over this one.
Okay, this is the T-level course. This is a new course initiative by the government, and it includes a mixture of both industry work placement, which is 45 days work placement at a company where you're actually valued as an employee, and online, and teaching in the classroom, which goes towards exams. Now, there's a wide range of topics that are involved in this program, which have been specified by both education establishments and what employers actually want. So these are the units that are structured here. So problem solving and introduction to programming is the heavily aspects of this course, which is focused into software development and how to develop software as a team. Impact of this, emerging issues and impact of digital is basically very much focused on like legislation and rules behind like how to work in a workplace or how to deal with difficult employees. Legislation and regulation requirements, which are come under the fundamentals of computing. Business context for if you're trying to produce software, what kind of business or legal implications there might be. Data for handling big data or the Internet of Things kind of integration of computer hardware. Then you've got digital learning environments, which is very much about networking and hardware and how to kind of integrate that kind of system. And then after that, you've got security, and basically that comes under similar to the cybercrime security type section.
Now, one of the big kind of areas which we generally want to kind of push for is how you get your work experience and kind of engagement with the industry itself. Now, we're starting to set up some good kind of connections with games industries this year, and students are starting to actually get hands-on with developing games in groups with briefs set by industry. So you have a chance for your work to be seen by industry. You can start making connections and be able to actually get your kind of foot in the door in the world of the industry. Okay, and this is obviously across all of our other programs as well. We've got a big focus on making sure that not just learning the theory and the kind of technical skill sets, but you're also getting the real life experience in the actual workplace as well, which obviously the T level is a prime factor for that, as it has that big long placement throughout the year. Now, to kind of finish up, essentially we have a few kind of examples of the game side of things where students have progressed from the kind of start of the year to the end of the year. So this is an example of level design. Okay, so a student, as they started to actually put the levels together and how they kind of ended up over the course of the 2 years. Some basic, this is more of the kind of the level 1, level 2 areas of game development. Okay, and also stepping into the first year of the level 3, where you do your game design aspects to get core mechanics down into some sort of form of gameplay. Also stepping into the 3D modeling side of things, so creating characters, weapons for models that would go into games, as well as the kind of artistic and concept side as well. So it branches all the way from the artistic to the programming. And that's pretty much where we'll finish up our side of things.
Thank you. I have a few questions actually for you already. I think first one is for Daniel. The first question is, can I directly apply for level 4 or level 5? I have a bachelor degree in computer science from Pakistan, and I have a NARIC equivalent.
Yes, definitely. Definitely encourage you to make an application. I would do that as soon as you can through the website, but you can make entry straight into H&C, and we do use NARICs to see the equivalency of the qualifications. So definitely that's something that we would consider you for. So if you made an application, you would get an interview within the next couple of weeks. Our interview days are on a Thursday. And someone will make a call to you to discuss in more detail, and then you could kind of be interviewed then and move forward from there.
Thank you. The next question is, anybody, if you want to pick it up, is there any work experience, and if so, how many hours does the student need to complete?
I'll pick that one up. Essentially, all of our courses require you to do at least a week work experience each year. This is, again, a week's worth, and generally we kind of expect it to be substantial. So this would be generally a 9 to 5 work between the working periods of a week for 5 days. At least for our programs, again, we make sure that the work experience you're doing is kind of relevant to your course as best as possible. I don't know if you want to add on to this, Daniel, at all.
Oh, that's the same for the courses at Hayes also. It's normally a week's work experience, and we do try to provide sort of relevant options that you would benefit from. But yeah, that's the same principle here at Hayes too.
The next question is, how long is the T-level?
The T-level program is 2 years.
The next question is, you mentioned that BTEC coursework, BTEC is coursework and exams. What kind of exams is it for BTEC? I want to gain a qualification in IT, but get very anxious when sitting exams. I'm doing GCSEs at the moment. Sorry.
There's proportion of the course that's internally assessed. So you would do assignments, which then would be marked by the teachers. There'll be one online exam, and also a controlled assessment. So the controlled assessment you would actually do in class over a certain period of time. The database controlled assessment for Unit 2 is 6 hours, and normally across 2 days. But that's nothing to worry about in a sense, because you'll be prepared fully. You'll have lots of opportunity to practice. You have lots of development and input from the teacher, so you'll be fully prepared before that. And if the exam didn't go as well as you would have liked it to go, there would be opportunities to resit, and we've got pretty high success rate in those exams. So providing you attend and you try your best, we're very confident that you wouldn't have any issues with the exams themselves. We're very confident that the students will be able to perform well. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that.
I'm just being mindful of the time. We just have one more question we can answer. What's the difference between T-level and BTECs?
So I'll pass you for Chris for this one.
The main difference between T-levels and BTECs is T-levels is entirely exam assessed. So if you're not the kind of person that does well in exams, that's probably not a good choice for you. The other main thing with the difference between them is obviously the work experience placement that you get on the T-levels, and then actually going over the differences is with T-levels it's a lot harder to get onto because we've only got so many placements that we can offer for it because we have to get connections with companies. And so because there's a limited placements on it, we need to make sure that we're getting the best possible students for it. Then the other sort of differences between them is with the BTEC, you're kind of safer on it. If you complete the first year of the BTEC, you will get a qualification after the first year and the second year. Whereas the T-level, if something kind of goes wrong or you don't manage to complete all the work, you can actually leave the whole qualification without any kind of qualification whatsoever.
Thank you. We're just now over the time, so I'm just going to have to wrap up for now. And anybody who has further questions, if they can email us on inquiries@oxbridgecollege.ac.uk, that will be fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope that you found this session useful. We will pick up some more questions when you email us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.